Hello. So today what we are going to do is a chapter that is India, that is Bharat. This is the chapter 5, and it's very important because from here onwards the story of India starts, and for all the aspirant this we will become, if you become more curious about your India, our India, and everything around it, your journey for preparation starts. So here I am summarizing the notes of what is there in the chapter. Let's and I think I've got a feedback for the visibility of the PDF is not so good. So today I'm going to try a couple of different things. Let's see. You can send me your feedback on that. So you know that this chapter is going to introduce to you in India about India and how the name came. So this in the starting of the chapter says that in India at a very early time, the spiritual and cultural unity was made complete and became the very stuff of the life of all this great surge of humanity between the Himalayas and the two seas. Now, if you why the way as an aspirant, our story is about how much observant we are about uh, everything. In this quotation by Sri Aurobindo, you will see that he has mentioned Himalaya and the two seas. So these are geographical features. So we need to understand here he is trying to mention about the spiritual and cultural unity that is we made it complete and became the very stuff of the life of all this great surge of humanity between Himalaya and the two seas. He's trying to explain that. Now, in the book cover, see, you will see there is a scene about rural India about 2300 years ago, north great of Great Sanchi Stupa. The chapter will cover how do we define India, what are the ancient names for India. So there is a map in the physical map of India which is there in the beginning. Uh, See, this is an activity. What happens is in UPSC, the map is there. Every time you see the map, the question they will ask is from north to south, please arrange the rivers. Now let us go down from north to south. River Indus, River Jhelum, River Chenab, River Ravi, River Beas, River Satluj, River Saraswati. Does it exist? That's the question. Then River Yamuna, River Ganga, River Chambal, River Brahmaputra, River Narmada, River Tapti, River Mahanadi, River Godavari, River Krishna, River Kaveri. Now these are the major river of the country, and usually the questions are around this from north to south or south to north. So you have to remember so you have to observe the maps. So now when we talk about India today, it is a modern nation where we call it as India. But before 500 years ago or 2000 years ago or 5000 years ago, the subcontinent or Indian subcontinent had different names, which the chapter speaks about, and it was given by that time's inhabitants. Now we have an ancient text which is Riga Veda. So in that it is mentioned that several thousand years old, it gives a northwest region of the subcontinent the name Sapta Sindhava. That is the land of seven rivers. So what is the Sindhava? From the word Sindhava came Sindhu, which reverts the Indus River, or at times called river in general. So this is what Sapta Sindhava was, land of seven rivers. Then we come to a cultural text called Mahabharat, where we talk about various regions which it mentions. It mentions Kashmira, Kurukshetra, it mentions Vanga, Pragya Jyotisha, which is Assam, Kutch of today's Kutch, Kerala, today's Kerala. So now we see that even Mahabharata is mentioned, the barriers geographical region of the subcontinent. In Mahabharata, the term which is used as Bharatvarsha and Jambudvipa. So we consider that Bharatvarsha is the entire subcontinent term, and then Jambudvipa is the subcontinent region. So it means countries of Bharatas. Bharata is first time the name appeared in the Rig Veda. It refers to one of the main Vedic groups of people, and Bharata. Several kings are named Bharat. The second of Jambudvipa means the island of fruit of the jamun tree. Jambudvipa means the island of the fruit of the jamun tree. A common tree or jambul tree, Malabar plum tree. It is found in this region, hence the name came like that. So in Asoka period, that we will see that he has his inscription is from around 250 BC. He used the same name Jambudipa to describe the whole of India, which included Bangladesh, Pakistan, and parts of Afghanistan. Now, if you see a historic map which is there, you will realize now this is visualization of your ancient India. You will see, and many questions come from that, relatability. This is Cambodia. This is Gandhar or Afghanistan. This is Druhiu. Then Kaikaya, Madra, Vahilika, Sauvira, Ambashasta, Shivi. I know the terms are going to be very different, difficult for you today, but please observe the map. You have to see it multiple times. Saurashtra, Anartha, Matsya, Shurasena, Panchal, Avanti, Mahishmati, Darsana, Chedi, Kosala, Kashi, Karusha, Videha, Magadha, Anga, Pragya Jyotisha, Pundra, Vanga, Suhma, Kalinga, Dakshina Kosala, Janasthana, Vidarbha, Ashmaka, Kishkindhya, Dravida, Kerala, Chola, Pandey. Now you remember these regions. You have to many times we speak about it. Now you see that Bharata also in Vishnu Puran it was mentioned the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountains is called Bharata. Uttaram yat samudrasya himadre swakaiva dakshinam varsam tad Bharatam nam. This name Bharata remains in use even today, and we see that we call it in North India it is called Bharat, in South India Bharatam. So now it is interesting to understand that a poem of ancient literature, Tamil literature, around 2000 years ago, praises a king whose name is known from Kumari in the south, from the great mountains in the north, from the oceans on the east and on the west. The great mountains in the north definitely is, what can be that? Himalaya, and Kumari is Cape Kumari. So now geography texts were used as in poems and all to so the wider your name is known around the regions. So in that context, so they are explaining the geography. Even in constitution, the first thing which starts our constitution, it says India, that is Bharat in the beginning. In Hindi version, it is written Bharat Arthat India. So we will know about constitution. You know about that. This is our democracy is run by the constitution. So we do recognize this part. In last lecture, you also realize that from various historical sources, we also come to know that travelogues of foreigners. So how did foreigners name the country India? So first text were from Persians, inhabitants of Iran, and in 6th century BC, they had come to the Indus River side and they called it as Sindhu. The Persian referred India as Hind, Hindu, or Hindu from the language adaptation which they saw Sindhu. So they did not purely actually talk about the religion, but they were talking about geographical term, Hindu region. Then when the from the Persian source, ancient Greek named it as Indoi or Indike because the initial letter H did not exist in Greek language. So you can see the change from Sindhu to Hindu, then Indoi or Indai. So this is what was the river name, geographical region. Persian named this, and then Greek, because they did not have a sound of her. So there is E, Hindu, Hindu. Then Chinese came, they called it as Hindu, and they refer India as Hindu or Hindu. This word also had originally comes from Sindhu. So Sindhu, Hindu, Hindu, Hindu. Even in China today, Mandarin they call India as Hindu. One of the most prominent traveler from China to India in 7th century CE was Xuanzang, or Yunsang. You would have read in different texts, different name. Xuanzang. So Xuanzang. Now he visited many part of India. He did a lot of collection of Buddhist texts, and he returned to India after 17 years. And he kind of mentioned whatever about. So we have his text. So another word which we called from Sindhu was Tianzu. Tianzu was understood as heavenly master. Now this is because in ancient China, India was considered as land of Buddha. So that's why heavenly master Tianzu. The Hindustan term, which even currently being used, or Hindustan, was used by Persian in some inscription 1800 years ago. So these dates are important. This terminology are important. So with this, you will see that the chapter summarizes that. So if I have to revise the chapter, summarize note for you. The chapter talks about India's identity over the time today, how India is named today, and it talks about the geographical region, evolution of names and boundaries, Indian subcontinents, and the historical and cultural and political changes. The ancient names of India, Sapta Sindhava, mentioned in Rig Veda, the term refers to the land of seven rivers, primarily the Indus River Sindhu. The term Sindhava stems from Sindhu, which originally refers to the Indus. Bharatvarsha, found in the Mahabharata. This term means the country of the Bharatas, a Vedic tribe mentioned in Rig Veda. The term later extended to represent the entire Indian subcontinent. Jambudvipa, a poetic term meaning island of the fruit of the jamun tree, used for the Indian subcontinent, and it is frequently found in ancient texts like those written by Asoka in 250 BC. Geographical and cultural identity of ancient India. Vishnu Puran, description of Bharata. Vishnu Puran is an ancient text that defines India geographically as the land lying north of the oceans and south of the Himalayas. This description remains fundamental to understanding India's geographic unity. Tamil literature. Ancient Tamil poetry also described India, praising kings of whose territory stretched from Cape Kumari, modern day Kanyakumari, in the south to the great mountain Himalayas in the north, highlighting early awareness of India's geographical expanse. Some foreign names, Persian and the term Hindu. In the 6th century BC, the Persian adapted the word Sindhu to Hindu, a purely geographical term for the Indus River region without religious connotations. Greek influence, Indo-Indic. Ancient Greeks who interacted with the Persians called the region Indoi or Indic, dropping the letter H from Hindu. Chinese account, Chinese travelers refer to India as Yintu or Yindu, derived from the same root. The Chinese also use the term Jianzu, which could mean heavenly master, reflecting their respect for India as the land of Buddhism. Xuanzang's or Hunsang's visit, a Chinese Buddhist scholar who traveled to India in the 7th century CE to collect Buddhist texts and translate them into Chinese, contributing greatly to the cultural exchange between the two countries. Hindustan and its origin. The term Hindustan first appeared in a Persian inscription around 1800 years ago and was later adopted by invaders of India to describe the subcontinent. The usage of Hindustan continued into the medieval period, establishing it as one of the primary names for India. The Constitution of India it refers to India as India, that is Bharat, affirming that both India and Bharat are official names for the country. The Hindi version uses Bharat Arthat India, reflecting linguistic continuity. The dual name highlights the historical significance of Bharat as a term deeply rooted in ancient India's ancient culture and spiritual identity. Now, understanding the meaning behind the names, Bharatavarsha represents a continuous cultural and historical identity linking modern India to its Vedic past. Jambudvipa, a more poetic philosophical name symbolizing the geographical and spiritual unity of the subcontinent. Foreign names, the term Hindu, Indoi, Yindu, were adapted by different cultures based on India's geography, particularly the Sindhu River. So, with this, we summarize the chapter. Kindly go through the revision MCQ and your chapter notes. That will build up a good foundation. Thank you.